Hey, what is up everyone? I am Piglet here once again and I am back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Kong Quest, or as I like to call this Let's Play in general, just Donkey Kong Country 2 from now on, for the Super Nintendo / Game Boy Advance. So last time we have managed to 100% through every single part during the forms of in Crocodile Cauldron, and we managed to gather, as usual, all of the bonus areas, and as well as from that, we also got ourselves all of the DK coins, or in this case, Hero coins, as what it's known for. So today, we're about to be beginning for the forms of the next world in this game, which appears to be Krem Quay. Which, again, I must admit though for this point guys, I do apologize for the actual pronunciation errors for the sake of time. But anyway, let's head into the forms of the first level on this world, which appears to be Barrowed By You. So either way though, let's get this thing to it. And basically the entire world suggests is the fact that we're going to be spending most of our time trying to traverse for the forms of a swampy kind of environment. So yeah, that's as far as saying goes, that's all I can really say about this for the most part. So either way though, as far as bonus stages department, first of all, before we get onto that however though, we need to get ourselves Rampy here, because this is also another reason why we need to get Rampy in the first place, is that I'm pretty sure he might actually got himself a hero coin inside of him. So even then though, all we need to do is just basically we need to continuously go to the right with Rampy, while at the same time trying to get used to with the new mechanics, or in this case some new obstacles that we actually come across into. I'll explain more about it later. And if we go onto this bit right here, just go ahead and just run straight forward and bypass that no animal sign, and that way you can get yourselves a glorious hero coin. But that doesn't end off here, however though. You see that enemy over there? Well, basically we need to wait for him until he goes all the way to the left, and in that way, whenever he goes to that exact same or the exact spot, then you would able to actually just to realize that you would be able to actually get yourselves a treasure chest. And then if you manage to able to crack the treasure chest open, it actually reveals as the cannonball itself. And once again, we need to guide, or just try to carry rather, the actual cannonball into the actual cannon itself. So even then though, and that way it gets the job done, and yeah, it's all pretty swell I have to say so. So either way, again, there's not much else I could really talk about this, sadly, apart from the fact that, well, today's day is the forms of, I would say today is, the 7th of August today, in this case in 2020, so then again, there's not much else I could really just try to talk about this, I'm afraid, apart from the fact that we can discuss upon, you know, several secrets in mind, especially noticeable. I just need to mainly concentrate on this game so far, just because I need to keep my eyes open when it comes to forms of hunting those, you know, the actual bonus areas and all things considered. So either way though, that might be considered as the actual main thing about this. So here's the another bonus area just on top here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Barrowed By You level actually contains 2 secret bonus areas, or in this case 2 bonus areas to be exact. So that could be also the same applies to the next level coming up. So even then though, we can expect this much. Now, as you can see, we actually come across into those new types of barrels that we actually come across introduced in this game in particular, and that is the forms of a rotating barrel controlled, which even then, well, depending on what directions you're going to be pressing, it actually corresponds to your movement during the forms of that specific stuff. Or to be more accurate, it usually calls it rotatable barrels, as far as I like to say for this point. So anyways, let's move on to the next level. As you can see, we are going back into underwater once again, and the level itself is actually called Glomerus Galleon. And unlike the other 2 water levels, it only contains 1 bonus area. This level actually contains 2 bonus areas. So either way though, the first one is actually at the very beginning, which we're gonna have to be able to go swim up, and then if you see that little alcove, which I don't know, suppose if you notice at this point guys, I do apologize for the actual screen resolution, it's way too dark in here, but even then though, we can expect we can able to see the actual footage in action, which even then though, if you're trying to record this on camera though, it will make everything a lot more awkward just to see if what is up ahead, or even especially noticeable just to see everything on this particular world offers us to. And if we go over there, in addition to able to get ourselves some more bananas for the sake of that segment, but also, if we're about to go all the way up, then you notice there's actually a DK Hero coin. So even then though, that's number 12 so far. So even then though, we can expect this much until we pretty much almost at the halfway point during the forms of collecting those DK Hero coins, as a matter of fact. But even then though, it might take a while to able to actually just to find those basically, until whenever we able to hopefully try to able to 100% everything of how this game offers us to. Oh, really? Thanks a lot, Kremling, right there. Just give me a nice little hitbox from that. Like, I swear to God, I wasn't really near to that enemy, but either way though, that's just how it usually goes. And then, as you can see, we actually come across into a new helping animal companion, as you can tell. And this time around, we actually come across into, I would say his name is Glomerus the Anglerfish, which this allows you to able to see what's up on the horizon, especially noticeable of how the fact that you would be able to actually just to see in the dark. So even then though, that's pretty cool though, especially noticeable how the fact that, well, there's one thing I should probably point things out right away, is the fact that, you know, with the forms of Clapper the Seal, we've already seen Clapper the Seal already in the forms of in Lava Lagoon, but that wasn't the final time we're seeing him yet, because it wasn't until later on throughout the game. Then we'll discuss more about it until later on. But this is the only level to able to feature the actual Glomerus the Anglerfish, and he only appears in one level, which is of course this level, as you can see on screen. So even then though, that could be also the same applies for the others as well. The only animal body that does not make a return at all, and that's the forms of Espresso, which technically, if you ever played the Game Boy Advance version of Donkey Kong Country 2, that Espresso was a thing, but he only makes an appearance in during forms of Espresso Racing that's only exclusive to the Game Boy Advance version, which originally I was going to be able to actually show you guys the Game Boy Advance version of the game, and just to try to show off some extra features and all that stuff. But the truth is though, I'm actually going to be focusing on one version only. In fact, let me know in the comments below of how the fact that if I'd like to show you guys some of those Game Boy Advance exclusive content between, you know, Donkey Kong Country 1, Donkey Kong Country 2, or Donkey Kong Country 3. I really don't know yet, but either way though, let me know in the comments section below. So even then though, unless there was like, well, you know, something it needs to be asked for. So either way, and yeah, I do apologize with my my voice is actually going a little bit more exhausted every once in a while, because recently I just had myself my glorious salad dinner, as you guys can pretty much notice for this fact, especially how we still ended up in summer somehow. But I'm gonna say, it's the fact that out of all the actual summers that we actually got into, specifically during forms of this year so far, it has gone really bad for the sake of time, in my opinion, just because, well, I understand because of how the fact that with the actual dangerous illness is still spreading, which truth be told, I need to stay safe, which is usually true for that understandable reason. But either way though, it's just that, well, I'm just getting so annoyed by this at this point. But anyway, as you can see, we come across into that second bonus area, which thankfully, if you do manage to follow those trails of bananas, as you can see right there, well, that'll actually leads you to the actual secret bonus area. So pretty cool though, especially noticeable that we still got our hands on the actual Glomerus the Anglerfish, so that way we can able to see, you know, the entire darkness more likely than everything. So at least we can able to still recommend that. So now there's no point in getting a banana coin, because I think we actually got plenty of them as it goes by. And, well, that's all I can say about it. Oh god, these enemies right there. They just always baiting for my existence with these enemies. Wait until whenever we get onto the future points of the game, you know exactly what I'm going to talk about with those enemies, as you saw. That, seriously, I just really despise them. Well, it wasn't until whenever we get onto the later portions of this world that we might able to also come across into those annoying enemies as well. But first of all, let's go ahead and save our game, which at the progression standpoint, we actually on 32%. So, not too shabby, not too trial and error kind of heavy stuff just yet, but either way though, let's move on to Crochead Clumper, which if I recall correctly, that as far as this stage in particular goes, it only has one bonus area, and that's about it. So either way, and of course, let's go ahead and just release Dixie Kong from the DK barrel, and we need to go onto the left side of the level because I get a strong feeling that it will able to contain a DK hero coin, so we can expect this much, especially noticeable that since I still managed to practice this on the Game Boy Advance version, as you guys should already know. Ah, dang it. Oh well, whatever. We'll take the invincibility frames right here, so at least we can able to actually just destroy all the Ziggies while simply using the treasure chest, and then if you break the actual treasure chest for about 4 hits, then basically the actual hero coin actually showed up. So something's worth mentioning, and for those of you able to want to know how to 102% this entire game, then, well, just look it up. So either way though, let's go ahead and hang on to the actual, those lily pads, as far as I'm concerned what this is all about. And at the same time, trying to dodge a lot of enemy. Ah, dang it! I did that way too late for that specific ponytail usage. Oh well, at least we still got ourselves a DK hero coin after all, so even then we don't have to worry about this too much. Well, apart from the fact that I'm usually gonna have to... Yeah, that enemy right there always ticks me off until whenever we get onto later on throughout the game. I mean, you can definitely know why whenever we get into it. But either way though, let's not get ahead of ourselves for this point just yet, because either way, we're onto the 3rd world of the game already, so at least expecting that'll be twice as more often. So, in fact, this world might, in this case, both between Donkey Kong Country 2 and I believe maybe Donkey Kong Country 3 as well, both those games does have much more worlds than in forms of how it does it in Donkey Kong Country 1. But I can assure you because of how the fact that, well, there's one thing I should mention also is the fact that, well, I'm not exactly sure if I actually did manage to look back onto the forms of the Let's Play of Donkey Kong Country for quite a while, but even then though, as far as I usually can tell for this point, is the fact that, well, usually relatively speaking, is the fact that Daffy has managed to able to go through the levels super fast, despite with all these trial and error moments and stuff like that, so... But you know, you get the idea for that solution right here, so either way. As I mentioned this before already, this level only has one bonus area, and that is of course this area. So either way though, we got ourselves Squidder, the spider, from the start, so at least even then we can only deal with those enemies, which are specifically, you know, the zingers, as you can tell. So even then that's pretty much about it. So even then there's not much else to it for that particular level, so... And now here comes the trickiest part about this level, and that was the fact that every time you activate those crocodile head switches on that barrel, it actually lets the crocodile heads manage to rise for a little bit, and you can able to hop onto them as platforms. So, but don't waste your time though, because if you somehow waste your time, then you might as well able to fall off, so you really don't let that happen, don't you? Especially noticeable, whenever I managed to practice this on the Game Boy Advance version, it did took me quite a few tries just in case if I was going to be able to actually pass that part. But either way though, that might be some consumption when it comes to, you know, some trial and error situations like so already, but either way though, that's all I can really doubt it for anyway, so... Yeah, speaking of the forms of certain worlds in the Donkey Kong Country game, specifically in the first game after all, usually relatively speaking, every now and then in Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3, that most of the levels might take a little bit more longer to complete, probably because there's going to be a lot of collectibles to collect, which I can't wait until when that's going to turn out, until whenever we get on to next year for Donkey Kong Country 3. So either way though, let's move on now to the next level, as you can see, which is known as Rattle Battle. And this level is very interesting because, first of all, before we get onto that however though, let's get up there to, what else? Get actually access to the first bonus area on that level. Now I'm pretty sure this level actually contains 3 bonus areas, I'm pretty sure for this matter. So either way, because unlike the next 2 levels which we're about to show off in just any moment's notice, that it's going to be just 2 bonus areas for each level. So Whilst in this level in particular only contains 3 bonus areas in particular, so... Yeah, the first bonus area is not too bad though, unless you can able to use the invincible cannon, or you can able to actually able to cope with the actual tossing thing. So, in here, this is where we're able to actually take a full control of the forms of Rattle the snake. So either way though, we can expect we can able to jump a little bit more higher, and you actually have ourselves 2 hit points, because as you can see on the bottom left corner, then we actually got ourselves Rattle the snake icon showed up, meaning that you actually have 2 hit points. If you get hit just once, you still got 1 chance left, but if you manage to get hit while the actual thing doesn't show up, then it's instant death for you. So even that, you have to be very careful, and especially noticeable, you really don't want to run into too many enemies like I just did right there. And thankfully though, this particular level is not too tricky and difficult, except in the ending portion, which we'll probably talk more about it whenever we get into that point. So anyways, if we go underneath to the left, then obviously it takes us to the bonus area, so... And all we need to do in here is just basically just keep on jumping on those, you know, ziggies, and that's all you really have to do for the sake of this bonus area, so there's not much else to say about this here. Although, if you do fall off to the actual bottomless pit below, and especially noticeable if you accidentally got hit from the side of the ziggies, or even on top of that, you will able to actually get kicked out of the bonus area. But then again, you can able to actually retry them as much as you wanted to, which even then though, unlike, you know, Donkey Kong Country Returns, as well as Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, that's how you only have like 1 try in order to be able to actually successful those. And if you go down here, this is where you get ourselves the, what else? A hero coin. So even then though, at least we got that. And let's go ahead and just get rid of this particular crumbling here. And, well, it seems to say that we've basically almost nearly towards the end of this level, basically. Now, I think this is where the points where the trial and error starts to now come in. Especially noticeable with the actual later progression, specifically in World 3 and onwards. That this is because of how the fact that sometimes I always attempt to drain my lives super instantly often, so... And if you hold down the A button while simply pull off a super jump ability, then this will give us the final bonus area on the stage. So even then though, in this part we have to simply just collect stars, and that's all you really have to do here. I don't suppose the R button will work on this version, unlike the Game Boy Advance version of this particular special ability in mind, but usually, relatively speaking, I did manage to test it out for myself, you know? So either way though, let's go ahead and try to pull off a nice spring jump, and oh, just only 2 left. Okay, let's see if we can able to get the final 2 stars from that spot. And we should be able to get ourselves a Krem coin. So even then though, we actually got about 32 so far. So even then though, so far so good anyway though. Especially noticeable how the fact that we almost seem to able to go into the halfway point of this game already. But either way though, between the forms of this game, as well as Donkey Kong Country 3, and even Returns, and especially noticeable for Tropical Freeze, those games will actually be considered to be much more longer than the original Donkey Kong Country game for sure, just because of how the fact that, usually relatively speaking, that between every single world in Donkey Kong Country, all except, I would say World 5 or anything like that, that it does manage to take about 30 minutes or something. But anyway, let's go ahead and just time ourselves for those jumps. No! Ah, I seriously messed this up. Ah, that's annoying. Especially noticeable how the fact that I have to judge a jump and then just trying to able to judge the actual distance in between the actual barrels and just anything for that matter. So, jeez, looks like I just somehow managed to screw one up, even for that specific timing segment, but hopefully we'll try that again, and hopefully we should be able to pass that part, well, assuming so anyway though, if, depending on my skills, wasn't exactly all that super appealing, but either way though, at least we got ourselves the spare thing back, so... Alright, just need to concentrate at this point right now. At least we got ourselves about 44 extra lives. Well, technically 55. Well, 45 specifically, because if it gets to like 0, or when it shows 0, then this means you only have one chance left. But even then though, if the numbers doesn't show up on the lives counter, then this means you get a game over. So even then though, I gotta say that in the game over screen in this game feels downright more darker tone kind of syndrome, because in the game over screen in this game it shows us both Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong managed to get themselves into a prison cell during the informs of the actual ship. So even then though, that sounds kind of depressing actually to me though. But anyways, let's move on to, there's another spot right there, but let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet, sorry. And let's move on to the next level, which appears to be Slime Climb. Oh boy, this level. In this level's case, is the fact that we need to do some more climbing to deal with right here. But the actual main emphasis on this stage is the fact that every time whenever we climb up, and as you can tell, the water starts to rise. Meaning that you know with that particular piranha fish that is able to actually eat you up, ever since Journey forms have been some of the previous water stages in this game so far. Now we need to worry about that until you're able to actually just, well, the more you climb all the way up to the top, then the water will still keep on rising and such. But if you somehow get into the actual water, then, you know, the actual, the fish will start to eat you. So even then, that could be, you know, pretty deadly looking, especially noticeable how the fact that we have to be super cautious with that. And by the way, shortcuts, by the way, if for those of you really want to ignore certain parts. And before we continue, there's a invincibility barrel, so we need to use that for the first bonus area. Because yes, this particular level does retain 2 bonus areas specifically, so at least we can able to actually just to find those. So even then, we'll able to actually just well, keep on searching for them. So of course in this part we need to just collect stars, and that's all you really have to do for this part, so not much else to tell, but hey, at least it's self-explanatory still, but hey. Alright, so let's go ahead and just keep on collecting some more stars from here. Sometimes I always feel a little bit almost nerve-wracking at points, if only if I could be able to be super precise with all these jump angles and stuff like that, but regardless we did manage to get ourselves a Kremlin coin, so far we actually got about 33 of them so far, which is really good. And oh jeez, that was close. I'm really hoping I can able to actually just oh wait, that was actually a bad idea, because if we able to do that, this means the water will start to continue rising, and also because the invincibility frames might able to start to go, I don't know, disappeared and stuff like that. So yeah, I get a horrible feeling about this. Alright. I didn't make it to that that edge right there onto that platform over there. Oh well, we'll try that again. I believe the second bonus area, as well as the DK hero coin, is gonna be at the end of the level, so at least we can able to just worry about those until whenever we're able to come across into those. So, but you know, you get the idea for this specific solution right here. I do apologize if my tongue is actually still twisted once again for trying to discuss upon things. But anyway though, let's go ahead and keep on climbing up, and hopefully we have to dodge a lot of enemies, specifically those zingers right here, and hopefully we shouldn't have that much trouble with. Alright, so let's go ahead and just keep on bouncing onto those dragonfly looking enemies. And let's see what's beyond in here. Oh, no. Oh, okay. At least we got some of those bananas back. Ah, jeez. No! Come on. Oh, really? No! Ah, I missed the rope! Ah, thanks a lot, you stupid, yellow Kremlin barrel, whatever those guys are called. Seriously, I just cannot stand those enemies sometimes, especially because if I was going to be able to try to go ahead and just try to able to be faster, more likely than everything, then most of the time I just keep on getting myself screwed over by those very stupid clobbers, which I think that's what the enemies are known as during the forms of, well, specifically for some parts throughout, which either way though, that's all I can really say about this here. And sadly I've lost my another extra life, so let's try this again for the 4th time's a charm, and hopefully we should be able to succeed. At least I hope so anyway, though. But you know, you get the idea. So either way, though, let's go ahead and try this again, and hopefully we'll able to succeed. Especially noticeable that we still need to mainly focusing on, you know, the last bonus area, and plus the DK hero coin, and hopefully we'll discuss onto those whenever we, well, as soon as we're able to find them first. Alright, so let's go ahead and be very careful not to screw things up, and keep on usually just jumping onto those, and hopefully let's go ahead and avoid those guys, or those clobber jerk-offs. And there we go, we managed to pass that. And you notice there's actually a cannonball over there, and just like the forms of how it does it in, well, Barrowed By You, we do need to once again carrying the actual cannonball, and then if you do manage to carry the cannonball all the way to this cannon over there, then obviously it'll take you to the bonus area just like so. However, this bonus area can get pretty tricky in my honest opinion, just because, well, as long as you get the actual adjustment to the forms of trying to able to toss the cannonball over towards the next enemy, well, usually for those dragonfly looking ones aren't so bad, but for Ziggers on the other hand though, might give me a little bit of a hard time somehow, because even then though, sometimes if I was gonna able to, at least that works from here. Oh crap, I got 5 seconds left, come on, jump up, come on, hurry, before it's too late, come on, oh, yes! Split second to react. Whew. That was actually pretty close. But anyway, after we're done for all that stuff though, we need to get a lot of emphasis on that body tossing kind of move. And that way we're able to actually access to the invincibility barrel thing once again, ever since, you know, the first bonus area. And that way we should able to swim down and get ourselves a, what else? A DK hero coin. So yeah, that's pretty much about it with Slime Climb, and now let's move on to the forms of the next level in this world. And that's what appears to be Brumble Blast, which kind of thing about it though is the fact that we need to do the insane amounts of those cannon blasting portions of this level. Well, I should say is probably the most trickiest ones, I have to say. Probably clearly because of how the fact that, as I mentioned this before, since World 2, I'm not exactly a huge master when it comes to the forms of barrel cannon segments in the old school Donkey Kong retro games and stuff like that, specifically the retro old school Donkey Kong Country games, sadly. But either way though, as long as I can able to keep my eyes open until I'm able to actually get my timing executed very, very properly, which either way though, that might be some noticeable things to able to consider this the actual main fact. So, but you know, you get the idea for that point. So anyways, let's go ahead and aim from, not from there, but usually relatively speaking, as long as we can able to continue things for the most part. And let's go down here. Now, for the most part, with the full weight directions, it's not so bad, but when it starts to rotate, this is why I almost have trouble with, for the full weight of the reason, is most notably because most of my timing is a little bit off at this point, especially noticeable whenever we get on to, you know, the later portions of the entire game so far, which either way though, we'll definitely discuss more about it whenever we get onto that specific matter. So either way, let's go ahead and it almost kind of reminds me like some sort of like a labyrinth feat kind of scenario, but it doesn't really bother me that much though, I gotta say at this point right now. But anywho, still haven't heard funny forms of Cat King 74 just yet though. I mean, surely he might be still go back onto Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle still, but I haven't really heard of him that much compared to the forms of our channel, because at the time, for the sake of the actual recordings, that sometimes we have to do the actual daily uploads, as you guys should probably already know this at this point. So anyways, if you aim from the actual you know, the bottom left part, as you can see right there, then obviously it gives us the, what else, the bonus area that we can able to actually access to. So hopefully it shouldn't give us that much of a problem, especially noticeable just trying to able to carefully precise our cannon shots, especially we really refuse to able to hit the brambles, as you can tell. So at least I gotta give this though is the fact that I actually do really enjoy the actual world environment of the actual brambles, as you can see right there, especially with the actual music itself as well, which kind of thing about it is the fact that the actual music you're going to be hearing, well, after this bonus area has been done. So either way though, there we go, we did manage to get ourselves the next Kremlin coin, and let's go ahead and continue things on for the most part. Yeah, I think for this particular music you're going to be hearing in the background, that actually plays out in the forms of in Super Smash Bros. Brawl during the forms of the actual soundtrack department, which I will say, I actually really enjoyed that particular music variation because, well, it feels almost like energetic and stuff. So anyways, let's go ahead and get to the checkpoint and just get Dixie Kong back after getting hit by a lot of brambles due to my strict timing with all these barrel blasting kind of timing requirements right here. I believe in this level does contains 2 bonus areas if I recall correctly, so even then though, because we've already just found one from earlier ago, and now we need to find the second one. Alongside with the second bonus area, we do also need to find the hero coin, so hopefully we would be able to find those exponentially. So even then though, let's just go ahead and deal with the Clam Trap and switch over to Dixie Kong, so that makes this particular part a little bit easier for ourselves, and watch out for those beetle-like enemies, so that way we can able to actually just ignore them, and hopefully do some more barrel blasting cannons department. So let's not aim from over there, but rather over towards here, and hopefully we should be able to navigate through certain points of this particular sequence like so. So yeah, so far so good anyway though, despite I did die quite a few times due to the forms of, sometimes the enemies attempt to really bug me most of the time, especially with those neckies from World 2, and especially noticeable with those cloppers from hiding inside the barrels. I don't mean, it doesn't really matter what color variations I despise the most, but it's entirely like all of the color variations of clopper enemies I really despise the most. But either way though, let's not get ahead of ourselves for this point. So anyways, let's try and just... I missed my judge of my timing jump and everything. Go to the left, hop onto the barrel, and in that way we can able to ride on the score here, much like the forms of how it does it in World 2. And that way we can able to actually just, well, not only just trying to able to get ourselves the glorious hero coin, but also that if we go continuously to the right, I was assuming that we might able to come across into ourselves the, what else, the second and probably the final bonus area on the sake of this level. So at least we can expect that. Of course, we still need to dodge a lot of those zingers, including the red variations of those guys as well, and that way we can able to deal with the forms of the bonus area itself. I mean, yeah, it's self-explanatory for this part right there, except, well, obviously we still need to dodge a lot of those brambles, because brambles can able to hurt you, so... yeah, as far as I can say about it. So either way though... oh, by the way, if you hold down the Y button, while you're riding onto the actual, the Squorks, the parrot, then this way he'll able to actually just to fly up or fly down a little bit more faster. So, just want to classify that. Sadly, we missed the N, but whatever. We'll just go ahead and get ourselves the, what else, the banana coin that we can easily take. And there we go, that pretty much takes care of the forms of Ramble Blast, or Brumble Blast, as far as I like to call it that. And now we hit on to the forms of the next boss, which appears to be Cudd Jewel's Contest, which either way though, for what I've noticed something, is the fact that, well, this boss might be pretty tricky if you do not know what you're doing, but either way though, when you get the hang of this though, it shouldn't be too, it won't be that hard. So basically in this entire battle is the fact that we need to keep on jumping most of the time, because if he starts to able to actually do like a biggest enormous stomps that he always attempts to do, well, it's your chance to you can able to actually just to do not get stunned. But then at the same time, when he just occasionally drops the actual TNT barrel, that's his weakness. So either way though, as soon as when he does that, then he does the actual swinging club right here, and then when the TNT barrel appears, then it's your chance to able to throw back at him. So even then, I think you have to do this like 6 times before you're able to actually finish him off. So yeah, if you get stunned, as you can see, by that earthquake, or that specific powerful jump, or that stomp, then you get stunned, of course, and well, you need to be very careful not to get touched by him. That's the only main thing about this fight. So either way though, for the most part it's not too bad though, but it gets a little bit more aggressively faster the more you're able to deal the damage on him, so yeah, it's not too bad. And then as soon as we get to the second half of this entire fight, he now starts to able to jump all over the place on that specifically whatever spot he's going to be aiming for. So yeah, you really don't want to do that either, because otherwise it will not count as a hit. So even then I just want to classify that. So alright, so we need to be very careful. Just keep on jumping. No, I just got stunned. Okay, whatever. At least I managed to able to evade by that. So even then that's obviously a good thing. So no. God, I'm trapped. Yep, I'm trapped. Oh well, at least we got Dixie Kong though, so that way it'll able to actually help us through. So even then we can expect this much. So anyways, now to this last phase, and hopefully he'll be down for just any moment's notice. And hopefully we should deal with him for the 6th and final hit. So kaboom! And there goes the actual top foe right here. And get ourselves a Krem coin, of course. So that's 37 of them so far. So yeah, not too shabby. And we've pretty much concluded Wall 3. So either way though, which is Krem Quay. So yeah, I guess we'll end things off at this point right there. So join me next time on Let's Play Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest. Is the fact that we're going to be hit on to World 4, which is Crazy Kremland. So see you guys until on Monday. Later, fellas.